First things first, you're now entering the No Bull Zone, sponsored by Credible. Great race with none of the bull. Talking some breaking news out of New England. The Patriots have released four-time Pro Bowler, former Defensive Player of the Year, Stephon Gilmore. Ian Rappaport tweeted this on the situation. The Patriots were open to giving Stephon Gilmore a raise, but wanted to see him healthy. Instead, he went on the PUP list as he recovers from his quad injury. That tension lasted until his release today. We got Greg Jennings with us this morning. Greg, good morning. I'll start with you. So the free agent market could be robust for Gilmore. What do you make of this?
This was very shocking, simply because when you look at the Patriots and what they do good and how we last saw them, they played really well on defense. We saw J.C. Jackson. We see the success that he's having, and you have him coupled with Jalen Mills, but if you can actually couple him with Stephon Gilmore, the defense is the strength of this team. Now, they're not a shutdown defense like we saw a few years ago, but they can really do some special things. And when you add Stephon Gilmore, you automatically think, well, wow, we got our two corners. So you think naturally you're going to wait, if you're Bill Belichick, for him to get healthy. Obviously, this is a money deal as far as the organization and cap issues. So they felt like it was best for the team. But as a player, you have to be shocked when you allow a talent like Stephon Gilmore to walk away basically with nothing in return. And so for me, I think it can potentially hurt the Patriots, because if they were going to do this, they could have gotten something for Stephon Gilmore, regardless of the injury. There would have been bidders. There would have been takers out there waiting for a cornerback like Stephon Gilmore to acquire and give them some type of assets in return of Stephon Gilmore. So it is very shocking to me.
Yeah, I wanted Gilmore on the team, Greg. Obviously, he's a great player, and he's been great. This is actually a good day for J.C. Jackson, though, because he's due to get his contract. So he'll get his money in the offseason, and the Patriots secondary will be great. And look, we all watch Patriots Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has an explosive offense. Did anyone come away from that game saying, you know what, the Patriots need to spend more money on their pass defense? I didn't. And this is Belichick's MO. Like, look, we know you're in line for a big contract. We're going to move on. And Nick, I'm not ruling it out. And reports are still coming in. I'm not ruling it out that Belichick did Gilmore a solid here. And be like, you know what? We could trade you to Nowheresville for a 4th-round pick, but we'll release you, go wherever you want. I think you're going to end up on your Chiefs. I think it would be smart for him to go to Tampa Bay, take that old, take 95 from Foxborough down to Tampa Bay. They've had great success. So I think either of those two teams, I'd like to see him play for a winner. I think Belichick may have done him a solid here by releasing him.
Yeah, listen, everyone's going to connect him correctly and smartly, as you just did, to the Chiefs and to the Bucs. They're the two teams that played in the Super Bowl last year, and right now they're two teams that need tremendous help in the secondary. The question I would have is Stephon Gilmore going to play for anyone that doesn't sign him to a long-term contract immediately? Because if that's the case, I think that would take the Chiefs out of it. It might take the Bucs out of it, and all of a sudden it becomes a little more questionable on how and who is able to sign Stephon Gilmore. Or is he going to just try to get another ring this year, show the world he's healthy, and then cash in huge in the offseason? We'll find that out. And by the way, he's got to get fully healthy, recovering from that quad surgery. But I just want to quickly go back to Wilds for a moment, because you can put a happy face on this all you want, buddy, but this is a bad moment for you and your Patriots for a number of reasons. First one is, I do not think Bill Belichick does this if he thinks the Patriots are competing for anything this year. Secondarily, all year long, when you've talked about the Patriots, you've added, and we don't even have Stephon Gilmore. Well, now you might as well say, and we don't even have Lawrence Taylor. He ain't coming back, buddy. He's gone. So that team that you have seen the first month of the year is the team you're going to have the rest of the year. And if you think that team's good enough to beat good teams, you're watching a different game than me. Because I watch a Patriot team. Do I expect them to beat the Texans this weekend? Yeah. Do I expect them to beat the Jets when they play them again? Yeah. But it's hard to find a lot of other wins. Yeah, I mean, listen, they'll win 6, maybe 7 games. But this idea of we spent $150 million in free agency, we're going to be back in the postseason, wave goodbye to that. You guys just cut the best player on your entire team.
Okay, the best player on the entire team hasn't played, Broussard, and we're doing 5. We're doing fine. We're at a solid 1-3, and I know 1-3 might seem bad.
1-3,
but it's a hot 1-3. It's a hot one. We're feeling good coming off the loss. We're gonna stack some wins. And look, this is what Belichick does. You say we got the same team, we're going to get Jamie Collins. The rule of thumb is this, everybody. Just trust Bill Belichick. Granted, we're 1-3, but we're a hot 1-3. I like Gilmore. I wish he was on the team, but you know what? Once a Patriot, always a Patriot. Maybe he comes back. Maybe he'll come back like Kyle Van Noy. How about that? Maybe he'll get him next year. Yeah.
No, Wilds, I'm with you. And I'm with you in that I picked New England to make the playoffs, and I still feel good about that pick. I think Belichick looked at what happened against Tampa Bay, and he said, obviously Gilmore is better than who they have out there now, but they're still pretty good pass defense without Stephon Gilmore. Why would you sign him up long term? He's not old, but he's older. So why sign him up long term when you've got these guys out there who look pretty good without this? So now the question is, where's Gilmore go? And look, obviously, both Kansas City and Tampa Bay need to be doing everything in their power to get him, because both of those teams could be derailed, not by the offense, but by the defense, and particularly by the pass defense. So I think he does end up in Tampa Bay. Obviously, he's got a relationship with Tom Brady. Brady's bringing everybody down there. It's kind of like the Lakers, LeBron bringing everybody to the Lakers. So I would be very surprised if he doesn't end up in Tampa Bay. And boy, oh boy, is that going to be a great move for them, because he's just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, and I will add, Nick mentioned that Belichick is doing this pretty much because he's hanging up this season. I don't think that that's the case at all. I think he saw, like you said, Wilds, what their potential was against a really good offense. Yes, the Bucs have struggled defensively and overall as a team, but their offense is explosive, and the conditions played a huge part in that. Maybe no one's paying attention to that, but that defense did hold their own with who was out there on the field, and to add a guy who you're going to have to pay in the situation that he's in right now, Stephon Gilmore. Yes, I think, Nick, to your other point about will he sign a deal that's not a long-term contract with one of these teams, he obviously was not willing to do that with the Patriots. I do believe that's because there was no guarantee or a feeling of we can win it all with Stephon Gilmore this late in his career. But with the Chiefs, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, there is that opportunity. There is that potential. So maybe that sweetens up the pie for one of those teams, because he would be willing to then take just a shorter term or just play on the deal that it currently stands, and then extend in the offseason after proving I am still that guy. I am still able to play at a high level when I'm healthy.
And I'd add another team that I think is going to be involved in this, and that's the Cowboys. All of a sudden, they have Trayvon Diggs. You add Stephon Gilmore, and what we thought could have been a weakness for them could be a strength. They just cut Jalen Smith, somewhat surprisingly. So if they could make the money work there. But I want to say something to Broussard real quick before we go. Broussard, you know how much I love you, and you know how much I respect you. And there are many things I respect about you, but near the top of the list is you are with me on a commitment to take integrity. With that said, I'm going to extend you an olive branch. You don't have to say to America you still feel good about the Patriots making the playoffs. You said that. I could see. I could see you almost throwing up when you said it. If you want to give me, I'm letting you right now. It's like what the cops do for old warrants. Amnesty. If you give me amnesty for my Falcons pick, I'll give you amnesty for your Patriots pick. You got to stick with the Saints.
It's all about Atlanta.
I'll give you amnesty on the Patriots. It's all about Atlanta. If you want it.
The Patriots are in much better shape than the Falcons. They are in much better shape. I'm sticking with
it. Putting you back in your place.
I'm sticking with it.
All right, that was your chance. Falcons about to get hot. You're going to regret that.
Nick, you mentioned LeBron James, year 19 loading, but was the King disrespectful?